How to properly fill out an RFD. Filling out and submitting a request for distribution form is both essential and necessary for your benefits specialist to receive and understand exactly what the advisor, agent, or beneficiary is requesting. Normally, the appointed trust advisor, agent, or beneficiary will fill out the request for distribution form and attach appropriate bills, invoices, receipts, statements, or other information about the items to be purchased or reimbursed. The top part of the RFD form is shaded gray and is filled out only by WISPAC staff. The shaded gray area signifies an area that is for office use only. The individual filling out the RFD form should completely fill out all of the following: the beneficiary's name, the name of the person who is actually filling out the form, the phone number of the person who is filling out the form, the beneficiary's trust account number. All of this information is important to complete, especially if one wants the beneficiary specialist to process the request for distribution accurately and in a timely fashion. The item service description area is the next area completed by the person who is filling out the RFD form. Each individual item purchased does not need to be listed. For example, if one has purchased 10 items, it is not expected that each and every item is listed. However, a categorical approach should be used. This means if 10 items are purchased, including various food, clothing, and medications, this is exactly what one should write within the item service description area. The sum total should be listed under the amount box. Please notice the gray shaded section to the right of the amount box. It is filled in by office personnel only. The bottom section of the RFD form begins with the payee. The payee is whom the check is going to be written out to. There are a total of 3 possibilities of whom the payee can be. Number 1, a company who is being paid directly, such as a furniture store, AT&T, or Charter Communications. Number 2, an agent who is a person who is allowed to make purchases for the beneficiary, and a signed agent agreement is on file. The agent agreement needs to be signed by both the agent and the beneficiary. And number 3, a credit card company. If a credit card is being listed as the payee, then the full account number should be listed directly after the company name on the payee line. This is necessary in order to process the payment to be properly credited and/or paid. The next section, which needs to be completed, is the amount to be paid. The sum total amount should be listed on this line. There only needs to be one sum total listed for each payee. For example, if an agent makes 5 purchases for the beneficiary and the agent is requesting that all 5 purchases are to be reimbursed to the agent, then the payee line and the sum total of the 5 purchases only needs to be listed once. A common mistake made is when an agent will fill out the payee line and amount for each purchase. If 5 purchases are made, the agent does not need to fill out 5 different payee lines, but only needs to fill out their name, address, and sum total on one payee line. Also, an agent is reimbursed only when using their own money, check, or credit card to make a purchase on behalf of the beneficiary. The last topic I would like to cover regards how one should fill out the RFD form if they want a check sent to their home address, as opposed to sending directly to a vendor. The only thing different would be how one fills in the address line. For example, if John Doe wants his AT&T bill to be sent directly to his home address, then the payee section would still be filled in with AT&T and the full account number, but on the address line, John would enter care of John Doe and his home address. The RFD form should be mailed or faxed to the WISPAC office at the address or fax number on the RFD form. Your beneficiary specialist will notify either the advisor, beneficiary, or a person making the request if a payment cannot be processed. Finally, if all steps are properly followed, your beneficiary specialist will be able to process your request for distribution on the day that it is received at the WISPAC office. One should expect a period between 7 and 10 business days from the day a request was received at the WISPAC office until a vendor or individual receives a check. If a request for distribution needs to be processed quicker than the standard 7 to 10 days, then one will need to notify their beneficiary specialist they want a distribution overnighted. If one notifies their benefit specialist by noon on a weekday, then one distribution should be able to be received by the following business day. Please note there is a $20 fee charged to the beneficiary's account for this service.